I'm a pastor, an artist, an author, a scholar, and a conversation. Welcome to Chatfest with Kenneth.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Chatfest with Kenneth. For this episode, as you can see, I am actually at a different location. I'm not shooting where I normally shoot. I'm acting this fabulous. I'm at the MGM Resort, the National Harbor. And so I figure I might as well come out here and take advantage of this wonderful weather, nice scenery, and let's talk. So, for this episode, I wanted to do a recap of my Socio Heritage Tour, which wrapped up last week. So I did a 14-city Socio Heritage Tour, and I just want to do a video recap, share behind the scenes stories, experiences, cultural lessons, cuisine, and all that good stuff. So here goes. So for this, when I had the concept of doing a social heritage tour, I just want to reconnect with the heritage of my youth. I wanted to go back to my roots, to get in touch with what influenced me. And yes, it's a vacation, but I was like, why just do a vacation? A vacation sounds so bland. I could do a whole lot more, and I could really learn going back, because if you're going forward, you have to go back to get reconnect with yourself to move forward. And so that was the premise of this whole tour. Initially, it started as a 7-city tour, and then the more I started working on it, building on it, it started growing. And then I was fortunate enough to have a team of people that will work with me. And so I was like, you know what? The sky is the limit. I think I'm a Christian. So one thing I did learn during this whole process was, as I was praying about it, I just felt the Spirit of God leading me like, why don't you do what's in your heart? If what is in your heart is going to be accomplished, if you know everything is going to be accomplished, would you put a limit to it? I said no. I said, so why not do it? And so I just dared to dream big. And it looked so huge and daunting, but I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. And I did go for it. So on the day I was leaving, as I came out of my door, this was a picture that I saw. I saw this picture of this cloud, and it looked like the glory of God in the cloud. And the thing that was resonant in my spirit was that the glory of God is going before me. So this trip is going to be successful, and I will go and I will come back. So I had that confidence, I had that conviction that that was what I had in my spirit before I left. And I was praying with my covenant brother who I normally pray with, and there was a scripture he said, it said, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. So that is what this is seeming like, that's what he got in his spirit, that I'm going in the name of the Lord. So just go and just believe. And so I already committed the tour into God's hands. I knew this was going to be a success. There's a new discovery that I found in my hotel room. I want to show you. Ta-da! So this is actually with the toilet. All I do is go to the bathroom, and then I pew, 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 pew on my butthole. Wow, interesting. Look at it. So this video is my first. Okay, so I arrive in Nigeria. I get to Port Harcourt, and the hotel I stay in has this. I'd never seen anything like this before. So it was just, I was like, this is ingenious. Why don't people have it in their homes? Like, this is actually cleaner. as long as you wash your hands afterwards. This is actually cleaner because using paper doesn't like wipe everything, but this will actually, you literally are cleaning everywhere. So I just found it very interesting, and almost all the hotels I was staying in had this, and I'm like, is this a Nigerian thing? Is this like a cultural thing? So I was like, I have to take a video of this. Goat meat pepper soup, goat meat pepper soup, goat meat pepper soup. What can I say? It's one thing to when I was over here in America to go to an African restaurant to get goat meat pepper soup, or even say I go to somebody's home and they invite me and they make goat meat pepper soup. It's one thing to eat it there. It's another thing to actually be authentically in Africa, in Nigeria, and go to a spot and order for it. It was spicy, it was authentic. They used the spices to make it, and I was like, I was living my best life. So I was like, yeah, I think this was the first my first night out, Port Harcourt, and this was what I had, and I was like, yes, I have arrived. Hello. It actually is kind of, off the top of my head, I probably say it's 1 o'clock in the morning, or maybe 12:30. And guess what I just did? I just bathed cold water. Literally, I was in the shower, cold water. And I didn't die. I survived it. Because guess what? In my youth, I used to bathe cold water. So I'm reconnecting with the heritage of my youth. Boom, cold water, bring it on. I got your number. Yeah, so this was one thing. Cold showers. I haven't done a cold shower in God knows how long. Why would I do a cold shower? I have hot water running in my bathroom, always. So, it was just interesting that most of the hotels I stayed in Nigeria, very few had hot water. Most had cold water. And so this was my first, the first night I spent there, I was all dirty, felt murky. And so I was like, I want to shower, and of course it is cold water. But tada, I didn't die. I showered, and it took a little adjusting, but I'm reconnecting with the heritage of my youth. So of course, I'm looking at my video, and I'm looking at here. Let me show you a little tour. So over there, right there, I don't know if you can see it, is the National Harbor over there, and then right over there is Virginia, and then over on this end is Washington DC, and actually the monument is over there, and then this bridge is the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. So my normal route to exercise is I come down here and do my power walk, go all the way and climb over, walk all the way over there and walk into Virginia, and then turn around and come back. And so that's like 6 miles. Hello. So I'm gonna try something that I haven't done in ages, and it is amala and ewedu, whatever it is. So here goes. Ta-da! And I'm actually eating my hands, which I don't do. But you can't be back to your heritage and use cutlery. That's not gonna work. So, no. So, ta-da! See it right here. I mold it perfectly, and then I welcome to life. So, my cousin Gacy, shout out to Gacy Kakanda, whoop whoop whoop. So he was like my host, my tour guide. So he picked me up from the airport, was very hospitable, taking me around and everything. So we got in the taxi, and we asked the taxi driver, what is the spot to go eat in? Now, let me give you a little thing. I did not want to eat in a hotel because most of the hotels were doing contemporary style cuisine. Like they Americanize it, they westernize it, or make it so it's like what I eat here. I wanted something authentic. If I'm going to reconnect with the heritage of my youth, I want something authentically African. I want it really motherland. And so we normally call it mama put. Basically, mama put means the local joints on the roadside where the localized people cook and your average person goes down there to eat. So it's like streets. So I guess it's similar to what you probably would call a fast food joint here. That's the only similarity that I can equate it with. So yeah, so it's like just a local joint. So I got in the taxi and I'm asking the driver, can you tell us like the banging spot to go eat at? And he says, oh, there's this spot in D-Line. So D-Line is an area in Port Harcourt. And so we go there. And yes, it was like we got there and there were a whole crowd of people just coming in. It was a Sunday morning and people were just thronging in. Like it was just a crowd of people. And so I ordered for amala and a wedu, which is you saw me eating it. And I think prior to this trip I had gone to an Ijaw picnic. Well, Ijaw is a tribe in Nigeria, which is where I'm originally from. And I had used my hands to eat. I hadn't used my hands to eat in almost a decade. So I used my hands to eat there. So I kind of was familiarizing myself. And so by this time, I could really like use my hands to cut it. And that food was delish. It was delish. It was amala and a wedu soup with assorted meat, and I demolished that thing. I demolished it. Oh, this is the video. I don't know where we are. Where are we?
Astad.
Astad. That's my son. Hello, son.
Hi, Daddy. What's up?
So we're in Astad. I don't know what this is. It's supposed to be the happening place. Oh, that's my kid brother. Are you gonna say anything?
Yeah. Hello.
That's all he said. Yeah.
Hello. This is my big bros.
It's going on. All right. Astas. Okay, so Astas is I guess you call it like an open lounge area where they play music, and it's really wide open. There's no gate fee to go in, so it's pretty much anybody can go hang out there. You don't have to buy anything. You can just sit down there to enjoy the ambience, and then people want to spend money, can spend money. So it's like a good place to hang out. So it's really crowded. It's packed. It gets packed, and yeah, I think it actually violates a few fire codes because I think there's one exit, and it doesn't make any sense to be that packed and one exit. But anyhow, and Astas is in Bayelsa State, which is Yenagua in Bayelsa State. So I went there and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because it was the food. I enjoyed the food. I enjoyed just hanging out with my people, hanging out with my son, hanging out with my brothers. It was a spot. So what I really liked was nkwobi. I'd never tried it, did not know what it was, and I love meat. I think it's made from oxtail. So they dice it and then they cook it in this soupy thingy, and it's the mound. So then they pile it like a little mound, and so it's just soft meat that I'm just eating, and it's just spicy, not too spicy, but just perfect. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And then they brought the barbecue catfish. I don't like catfish. I don't like catfish. Catfish is the most horrible fish I've ever tasted. But for some reason, I tasted that, and I was like, "What the heck? This is catfish." It wasn't slimy. It actually tasted like meat, and I enjoyed it so thoroughly. So that was one of the things that made me come back. I came to Assad like a few times because I liked the food, I liked the ambience, and I liked being able to bring my entourage with me, and we can just hang out and eat. Oh, I do have to mention though that with eating the fish head actually is the part of the fish that's reserved for the honored person. So like the head of the family eats the fish head. So me being I'm the host hosting our outing, so the fish head was left for me to eat. Of course, I don't know nothing about eating no fish head. I'm not eating no fish brain and start thinking like a fish. So I graciously gave it to someone else who demolished it recklessly. And okay, well, also my body started reacting to I guess the foods I was eating. The moment I just started eating, I just noticed that I was constantly going to the bathroom. Not sure why. One of my someone said it was because the foods I eat here in America are processed or they have preservatives and it's not all natural. And me coming to the motherland to eat foods that are completely natural without preservatives in it, it was too much of a shock for my system. So I had to keep taking some tetracycline and something else to maintain my stomach. You would think that would stop me from coming out here out to eating by the street side, but nope. I was like, I came here for a tour. I came here for a cultural tour, so I'm gonna eat my food. I'm gonna eat my food. Stomach, you better get used to it. Oh, and this is my when I went to do the dollar exchange. Okay, background story. Over in Nigeria, there are two ways to change currency. You can either go to the bank and use your dollars to buy naira, or you can go to the black market to do it. Now, if you go to the bank to do it, yes, it's more secure, and but your value, the currency rate is you get less for your dollar. You get less naira for your dollar. But if you go to the black market, you get a higher exchange rate. Of course, it has higher risk because you have no idea who you're going to. Someone could rob you or set you up or whatever the case is. The good thing is most people have a dedicated person that they normally do their dollar exchange with, so it's not like some random stranger. And even if you meet some random stranger, most of the times they are businessmen, they're entrepreneurs. So why would you want to jeopardize a potential dedicated client? And so these are the people that I was doing my dollar exchange with in Yenagua, and I took pictures with them, and I think I changed $100 with them a few times. I think I also did exchange at the airport, bureau de change. Is that what they call it? I think I did that a few times, even though the value, they didn't give me a good currency. But one thing I did learn that in Nigeria, or not in most parts, but in Bayelsa to be exact, the value of old dollar is less than new dollar. I guess the two different dollars, the one that looks silver, that has a higher exchange rate, and the other one has a lower exchange rate. I didn't know that they select dollars. And then even some banks were rejecting my old dollar in preference for the new one. So that was a bit inconveniencing because all I did was go to the ATM here and withdraw money. I didn't specify give me new dollar, old dollar. It was just whatever dollar the ATM machine spewed out at me that I had. And so now I was stuck with having to filter through my new dollar, old dollar. That was ridiculous, but oh well. Of course, hey, cuisine is a major part of this tour, and this was chips, yam chips. So it was fried yam. Yams are like I guess for lack of a better expression, it will be in the tuber family. So it's kind of like sweet potato, potatoes, cassava, that whole family. So yam is another variation of it. It's a little bigger than Google it. You Google it. So that's yam chips with spicy stewed spicy stewed goat or stewed, I don't know what they called it. It was good. I liked it. It was just, I didn't like the yams because I haven't done, no, I don't think I even tasted the yams, but it's like chips, but I didn't want that. I was just more fixated on the goat. Party time, party time, party time. So hey, we were living our best life. So it was always an entourage going out with me, and depending on the state I was in, there were variations in my entourage. But the one constant person, my son, who just happened to be my tour manager and my personal assistant. He knows me, knows exactly what my expectations. So it was effortless. He managed everything, like the 14 city tour, hotel reservations, flight reservations, connecting flight, because it was Lagos was my hub. So I kept flying into Lagos and then go to the next city, fly back to Lagos, go to the next city, fly back to Lagos. And so the connecting flights, he arranged it so I there was no possibility of me missing my connecting flights. He itinerized my life. He made it so simple and sequential. He was systematic. It was effortless. And as my personal assistant, anything I needed, all I had to do was tell him and he made it happen. Kudos to that young man. Then I had my pilot. My pilots consistently, it changed depending on the city that I was in. So, but I was fortunate to have people that I could just take for the day. I could just hire them for the day. So for that day, anywhere I wanted to go, they were on standby taking me there. And I literally became like family because they met my family. Everywhere we went, we ate, we partied together and everything. So it was just easy to have somebody who's a local and who knows everywhere, knows how to navigate through the shortcuts and everything. I had my older brother, Michelle, I love you for life. Some said he was my twin. Well, he's older than me by a few months. He that's my special advisor and my information manager. Special advisor in the sense that he kind of would let me. He just stayed on the side watching me. And if I was making a mistake or an assumption, then he will come in to be the voice of reason to correct me. And sometimes we'll argue, but he was always that hawk sitting just hovering over the back in the background, watching me, make sure I'm not presuming and doing the wrong thing. And then I called him my information manager because he just seemed to be a wealth of information. Anything I needed, he just seemed to know it. Yes, I constantly critiqued him, constantly challenged him, because I'm not just going to assume that you know everything. So yes, I have to critique it to make sure it's authentic or authenticated. But he was a wealth of knowledge. Who else? My secretary, Paul, my young nephew. we'll call him. He's a pastor, so I called him Apostle Paul. He was my secretary, so he kind of was always taking notes. He was always taking notes and asking me questions, taking notes. So that's why he called me a secretary. So not sure what he's doing with the notes, but he was always taking notes to learning from things. And then I had Sam, my nephew again. He said he's a logistics manager. Sam was a logistics manager because he's like a wild child. So he just knows how to find stuff. The least expected thing, he just knows how, he knows how to sniff things out. He just knows how to find stuff. And he reminds me of me when I was like really, really young. Like just chaotic energy that just harnessed, waiting to explode. So yeah, he was like my logistics manager. He just knows how to connect the dots. And I give him some stuff. Between him and my son, there's nothing I want that I couldn't get. It was just like effortless. So yeah, that was my team. Am I forgetting anybody? I don't think so. Fufu. Of course, the Nigerian staple, the staple in the Nigerian diet is swallow. Basically, a starchy, doughy stuff that you mound and you dip in the soup, and so that's how you eat it. So there are different variations of it. There's fufu, there's amala, there's pounded yam, semovita, starch, different variations of swallows that you get. So basically it's the same concept. It's just variations of starchy products that they make into this thing that you cut, dip in soup, and you swallow. So that hence the name swallow. Suya is basically beef that they beat. So you hammer it and beat it so it's like flat. Then it's seasoned with ginger, powdered ginger, and some other stuff, and then they barbecue it around the fire and sell it by the roadside. So it is, and there are different variations. Some of them are really spicy hot, like if you want them to add a pepper in it, or you can. I didn't want it to be too hot because when you eat hot stuff, it's fun, but when it's coming out, that's when it's like oh. So I didn't want too much pepper on mine. I wanted the ginger, and then they serve it with sliced onions and sliced cucumber. I didn't know the cucumber part. That was new to me. I don't remember sliced cucumber to it. I remember the onion. But so this is like, especially the night time, they sell it at night. Now during the day, it's a nighttime thing, and so you just go by the roadside and you see a throng of people there waiting, and you just pick up stuff. So I think this was, I can't remember where I got this from. Delish. So I'm out here I'm trying to eat. It's called akamu and akara. Pap and bean cake. Pap and bean cake. Akamu and akara. So this is it. The akamu is like corn, yada yada yada. I don't know, I can't explain it. And this is all fried beans. And so ethnic. So this is pap and akara. Pap is basically it's breakfast. It's made from corn, so it's like a cereal thing. Think cereal. And then akara is fried bean cake. And so you put sugar and milk in the pap, and that's what it's like a that's what they eat for breakfast. Um, and actually, so what we did was we woke up that morning and was like, okay, we need to find breakfast. And we just were walking down the street. And I was like, no, let's not ask anybody. Let's just figure it out. And I went and we saw this spot and we got this. Our normal routine every day was we wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, breakfast. Time for breakfast. And we either ask our pilot to take us somewhere for breakfast and then we eat, or I ask around, like, what's the best place to go eat breakfast? But whatever the case is, once we wake up and brush our teeth, breakfast is the agenda. Once breakfast is had, I have based on my tour manager's schedule, whatever is itinerized, we do it. But I'm already thinking lunch. Like, okay, lunch. Where are we doing lunch? And then once lunch is clocked out, I'm like, okay, I'm already thinking dinner. What are we going to do for dinner? Where are we going to go for dinner? How are we doing for dinner? That was all we did every day. Wake up, eat, party, hang out, eat, party, hang out, eat, party, hang out. So this is where I used to live. This is like in my neighborhood. So this is a house that I stayed in, and over there is the fence. I used to jump over the fence to run over there. This was not here. This is my friend Tochukwu. Their dad lived here, Tochukwu Agu. And this was not here. Okay, no, this was our house. Let me see. I honestly think this was our house. And we had a farm, like a rabbit farm thing in the back. Yeah, I think this was our house. This was it. Either way, it's either this or that. I can't remember which one it is. And then the Adaches were living here. So this was their house. So we just come out and we come out to play here. So this is really interesting. Okay. Okay, so this is a house that we used to live in. And there used to be a Megad hut right here. There's a Megad hut right here. That's gone. All this used to be gravel that was right here. And then the mango tree is still there. There's a mango tree. This wasn't here. Go away. That was my uncle's room, Uncle Ray's room. The mango tree is right here still. And hello, good morning, how are you? Yep, that's Uncle Ray's room. And this was our living room. It's something else now. And interesting. Okay, so let me go over to the other end. See what's where. So over here is where my room was. My room was over here. And then the kitchen was right here. I used to live here. That was the kitchen, and my room was right here. This was the kitchen. Wow. Oh my God. Good morning. Okay, so I finally figured out my bearings of things. That was the road. You come right in through here, and this was where we used to live. That's our house right there. There used to be a Megad place or something. I don't know if this is it, but that was a house right there, and this wasn't existing then. Yep. So that's it's a hospital now. This was our house, and then the boys' quarters was back here. The set of boys' quarters back here. Yep. Those are the set of boys' quarters that's right there. Wow. And that was our neighbor's house. They put a gate here, see. I'm not going in anyhow. So in my trip to Jos, I had to go to I had to go look for the places I stayed when I was a child. I didn't even recognize everything. Everywhere had changed so much. It was so hard trying to figure out where I stayed. So one of the places, as you can see from the video, I couldn't figure out which one was my house or not. Developmentally, it was still it wasn't maintained. The area wasn't maintained. And then this other house was, I remember when we moved in there. This was like in the early 80s. I can't remember when we moved in there. That was the first house that we literally lived in, that I had my own room, and my own room I had my bathroom in my room. So that was the first sign of independence for me. Like, oh, I just go into my bedroom and close my door, and I have my own room, and I have my own bathroom, and just my own private seclusion. It was so huge that I think it was like 5 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms. I can't remember. Now it's a hotel. They've morphed it into a hotel. And I did tour around, and I met a lady who happens to be, her father owns the house. So it was fun seeing her, because she was like, who is this strange person just walking around here with a camera filming everything? And I mentioned that, oh, I lived here in the 80s. She asked who my mother's name was, and I mentioned, she's like, oh, I remember that lady. I'm like, I'm her son. And so that was a nice reunion. Oh, that reminds me, I have to email her. I forgot to get in touch with her. So that was good. And then one other house we stayed in, I think the first house we stayed in when we relocated to Jos back in the early 80s. So that probably 79/80. That house is now a hospital. There was no way I could go in. I wanted to go in and see film, but I was like, nah, I don't want to be disrespectful. And so I just looked from the outside. The one thing I would say is most of the places looked like they weren't being kept, they weren't being maintained. It looked derelict. But hey. Father Ben Obidiegu. So Father Ben was my principal for my high school when I was in high school. So as an adult now, my alumni, my class alumni, during COVID, we kind of formed a group. And so being the visionary that I am, I came up with an idea. I was like, this man positively affected us. He's retired now. Let's do something memorable for him. So I went on Facebook. I found one of his pictures on Facebook, and I took it and found somebody who does oil painting. Shout out to Corey Arts. Corey Arts, how are you? Corey Arts in Lagos. So I found him, gave him the picture, told him my concept. So he did a painting of it, and we made two. We presented one to Father Ben, and also the token gift. And he was pleasantly surprised that after all these years, this is like how many years? Almost 30, 20 something years ago, later, we're coming to acknowledge or to acknowledge the influence he was in our lives. And then the second one, we donated it to the school and presented it as a token from our class. So kind of the class of 87 has set the bar. No other class did that. So we kind of have set the bar like, okay, what y'all gonna do? Or every other class, what are y'all gonna do? Of course, what's new? Food. So I just actually woke up that morning and I was like, nah, I want dinner for breakfast. I want to eat like dinner. I want food for breakfast. And so went and found this spot. And so we're having rice. I think, was it jollof rice? For breakfast. And hey, living our best life. Oh, and by the way, my logistics manager had never been to Jos. So this was like his first time coming to Jos. So even though he's my logistics manager, I kind of was like being a tour guide. Even though the last time I was here was 30 something years ago. So I'm here at Republic Chicken and just trying to place an order. And I think we spent 15. But, what? Don't do this. Why? 15? Yes. Now. And I will take a picture of the food. Oh wait, hold on. So we got a bucket of chicken. We got like 6 actually of this. So we're getting 3 jollof and they come with 3 jollof, 3 fried rice, coleslaw, 7 when we get to the hotel, I guess I'll take a picture of it all. One thing I will say is I like Chicken Republic. Okay, no. Chicken Republic is a franchise. So I found out that it's not every Chicken Republic that I like. The one that I really liked is the one in Ikeja, Lagos. For some reason, I like that one. Their chicken, something about their chicken is delish. The chicken in Nigeria is different from the chicken I eat here in America. The chicken in America here feels like it's melting in my mouth. It feels so tender. While the chicken in Nigeria is kind of more meaty, even though it's more meat textured. It's textured. Like I chew it, it's not hard, it's textured and it's enjoyable and it's seasoned. Something about it is just, I guess again, it's that natural chicken just running around, not the one that has been pumped up with growth hormones that grows into a chicken in like 3 days. Is a chicken, like what the fuck? Oops. Did I just F word? So it's just kind of I preferred the chicken in Chicken Republic. I liked it, and so I found myself going there. And then they had like a bucket of chicken with whatever comes with it. It just seemed like enough to feed my team. So all I had to do was just go, hey, give me the bucket of chicken, and then it comes with it. I think fried rice, jollof with rice, coleslaw, yada 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 yada. And so just take it and go to our hotel room, and that was just enough. So it was like one easy food to get. Chicken Republic. And then I'll also like the club sandwich. Something about the club sandwich, it doesn't taste like a regular sandwich. I've never had a sandwich like that. I've try sandwiches here. But there's just something about the club sandwich from that particular branch of Chicken Republic. I love that club sandwich. And so, shout out to Chicken Republic. Are y'all gonna pay me? I'm giving y'all free press. What y'all gonna do? So one thing I have been dreaming of is bushmeat. Bushmeat. Because obviously I can't get that to eat here. And so what is bushmeat? I think it's a grass cutter. So it's like a rodent thingy. It's like grass cutter. And then I'm not a chef. I don't know how they do it. I just like it. And so I wanted bushmeat, and the only place I got it was in Benin. They took me to this Mama Put joint in Ogbelaka Street. And I got it, and I was like, yes, this is what I've been wanting. And I had to order for takeaway. I ordered for takeaway for it. Went to my hotel room to demolish it. So I think I went there a few times. I can't describe what it tastes like because I'm not a chef. That's not my job. Go Google it and figure it out. Okay, so I am here at Church of God Mission. This is where I guess my dreams congealed, my visions and dreams congealed. So I had to come to see to my roots. Can do a social heritage tour with hasn't changed much, but it's still pretty much what I remember. The choir it's a Saturday, and the choir is rehearsing. So I'm just gonna. When I was here, it was about a 300 to 400 voice choir. So pretty much. That's them rehearsing. Just another day. So, Faith Arena, Church of God Mission International Incorporated, and the branch is Faith Arena. That's where that's where my visions kind of congealed. That's when my visions congealed. So Faith Arena was the late Archbishop Benson Idahosa. He was he's the founder of Church of God Mission, and so that was where the Faith Arena in Benin City. That's where he was, and in the late 80s, I became familiar with his ministry, and so I would just visit, and he was always inviting artists from America to come over. So like Andrea Crouch, Sandra Crouch, Alvin Slaughter, Danny Bell Hall, Charmaine Hawkins, and they were all coming over. So it's like it was kind of like a concert basically. We'll have a like musical festival, and everybody will come there, and we're seeing all these American gospel singing stars there. And that's when I heard people singing and ad-libbing, and I was like, wow, people can sing like this. So that's when my hunger to sing started. just seeing people sing and just passionately singing and worshiping God. And then Papa was just this boisterous figure that he had this big mega church in the 80s, and the choir was like a 400 voice choir, and they would just sing and everything's booming, the anointing just hitting the place. And so my dreams just expanded, and I was like, I want to be a part of this. And Papa was just so monumental in inspiring me to dare to dream. And so that's when I began dreaming like, oh, I want to go back to America. Yeah, I want to return back to America. And yes, I think I want to go into singing. Yes, I think I want to sing. I want to sing, not just sing to commercially, no, sing what's in my heart, express my heart to God. And so that's when I started crafting all the things that I am now. My name is Kenneth Apanwe, but that's when Kenneth Tamara. I came up with Kenneth Tamara because I felt Kenneth Apanwe was too difficult. So my stage name was going to be Kenneth Tamara, and I was going to be a writer. I was going to be a singer. I was going to be a designer. I was going to be this. I was going to be that. Yada 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 yada. And now I'm looking like everything I kind of dreamt that I wanted to do, I am doing now. I have music that I've written and recorded out. It's all on Apple Music. I publish books. I'm telling my story, but I'm doing it on my own terms. I'm not trying to be some commercialized thing where I'm dancing to the beat of somebody else's drum. No, I'm doing it my way, completely autonomously, my way, telling my story. Take it or leave it. And so I had to go back to had to revisit Church of God Mission to reconnect with where my dreams were congealed, my visions were, where my visions started taking substance. And I guess my encouragement is do not despise your small beginnings or those childhood dreams that you dared to dream. You can birth it. Like everything I'm doing now is like, wow, I dared to dream this, and I am doing it. And even things I did not dare to dream, I am doing it. I never dreamed that I will be doing my PhD. That was like that was too lofty for me to even dare to consider. And now it's like, what? I'll do it because I can do it. So, one thing in Benin City that, significant thing that happened, I crashed. Because I guess I never realized a tour could be so affected. Here I am jumping from city to city, and 2 days here, poop, and next to the city, next city, jump on this flight, fly here, jump here. And then I got to Benin, got to my hotel room, and I just crashed. It's like, I just hit the bed and I passed out, literally. I just stayed in bed, didn't have my team. For my Benin City trip, I didn't even want my team with me. I'm like, no, I'm doing this solo. And so I needed a break. I just wanted to breathe and rest. And so I slept literally all day. I was just sleeping. And then I woke up like around 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was starving. And so I had to go get food. And I got food from the hotel. Normally don't like getting hotel food, but that's what the hotel gave me at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I also, Big Brother is such a big thing in Nigeria. Oh my God, Big Brother is like the reality TV of Nigeria. And I guess celebrities have been birthed from Big Brother. So Big Brother is like, and it's on like 24, like literally 24 hours. It's just on, and the camera is just full. And so I found myself literally just lying down in my hotel room watching it, and I was almost getting sucked into the stupidity of it. Did that make sense? Like, I'm just watching these people live basic life. They live their life, and I'm watching like, okay, why am I getting so invested in this? But hey, I was on a vacation, so whatever. What else did I have to do? Aren't we doing the same thing here in America? The Kardashian family. I'm just hanging out at one of my good friends' place. My childhood bastard friend. That's it. That one.
Oh, bro. That's my mean old friend.
Lakewood, Lakeside. So Lakeside is my buddy's business, and Rockstone. It's like my childhood friend. Peter Obadani, but we called him Rockstone because Peter Rock, so Rockstone, Peter the Rock, Bible reference. So anyhow, he's a twin. And he kind of was my bad boy friend, like my bad boy who happened to be my friend. And so we're very, very tight. Like every day I hung out with him. And then I became a born again Christian, and yeah, we probably may not have been as tight as we used to be, but we're still. I knew he was. I knew his heart that he was my friend, and so over the years, so we kept in touch and everything. And one thing I learned with him is loyalty is loyalty. Like if you find somebody who is a friend, it doesn't matter if you become your religion changes, your value system changes. Good friends are hard to find. Good friends that will be loyal to you, regardless if your value systems have changed. There's a foundation of friendship that doesn't change, and that's one thing I noticed with Rockstone. So yes, I did go hang out with him, and it was just fun to see my old childhood friend and just reminisce about the good old days. And actually, I did learn that because you know what, you can actually have people who have the same value systems as you, and they can't be loyal to you. Hello. What do you think the issue with church is? Most people complain about church folks because they're in church and they get wounded in church, they get hurt in church. People who pray with them, speak in tongues with them, and they're the first ones to gossip about you, backstab you in the back, cheat you in business, but you're supposed to have the same value system. You're supposed to be bonded and pray together, and you can't trust them. And so, okay, Kenneth, calm down. Why am I getting passionate? So my one encouragement is, if you find a friend, Bible says there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. Even if, oh, I'm a born again Christian, oh, he's not a born again Christian. Loyalty in friendship is hard to find. So if you find it, cherish it. Pole and fish. This is so simple, but it's so delicious. It's basically roasted ripe plantain. I prefer ripe plantain. I don't do unripe plantain. I prefer ripe plantain. So it's roasted ripe plantain and roasted fish. And they sell it by the roadside. And I just saw it. I was like, oh, I want to try it. And oh my God, it was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And these are my people, my family in Port Harcourt. So Clement, Priye, Kingsley, Stephen, Doye. Who else am I missing? Yeah, my peoples, my blood. Shout out to y'all. It was fun meeting you. First time meeting them. So I am here at, what's the city?
There is
It's not a city.
Omoko.
It's a city, a town.
It's a town.
Okay.
Town.
And Omoko, and that's my older brother. He lives here. So he came to show me where he lives, where his business base is. And it's a small little place. And what can you tell me about Omoko?
Well, I know Omoko for about 10, 20 years ago. It's one of the oil producing city in Rivers State.
It's one of the what?
Oil producing
Okay.
city in Rivers State. It's one of the largest, I think the second largest oil producing city in the River State. Most of the gas going to Bonny is from this community. At a time, because of this political crisis arrived that scattered the whole community.
Okay, you're getting too serious. So basically, what he said, that's what it is. And what would you say the population of this place is?
The population is over 20,000, if I'm not mistaken. It's over.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it's a little town. Well, and there you go. Ta-da! And then I had to go to Amoku. Amoku is like a little town that my older brother, Michelle, lives in. So I had to go there to see him and hang out with him. And it was fun. Simple. Sometimes the simplest things that are the most fun things because it's the memories that are created. And so I'm going to stop here for this edition, this episode of Chat Fest with Kenneth. I think the next one is my next episode is when the transition from a tour to a pilgrimage happened. Like right now, it just feels like I was just touring, eating, having fun, and then a shift happened. It no longer became just hanging out. It now started affecting my value system. It started affecting my outlook. It started affecting my my core, my trajectory in life, and my expectations, my aspirations, my passions, my purpose were now suddenly being influenced and being restructured and affected. I was getting reorientated, and that's when I began realizing that this is no longer a social heritage tour. This is actually a pilgrimage. So in the next episode of Chat Fest with Kenneth, I guess we're going to see the gradual evolution of the tour becoming a pilgrimage and the lessons that I learned from it. Thank you for indulging in my frivolity, my vacation, vicariously living through my social heritage tour. Your support is always appreciated because, hey, sponsors are we all need sponsors in our lives. So do not forget to click like, subscribe, make comments, share with friends, and support. I'm available on CashApp, PayPal. Hey, even my Nigerian account is here. You can donate money to my Nigerian account. I need all the help that I can get. And thank you again. I am everything I am because of the support I have from you people. I'm standing on your shoulders. And so I'm so grateful to you for all the support that I get from you. Thank you very much.